Man, welcome back to another episode of the Think Successfully Room. This is a platform where we focus on building mindsets. We building character, bringing value to both you and your people, and aligning with your body with your intelligence. I am your host, QB So Effing Amazing. This is my guy, Blaqamore. Together, we discuss on how you can get your health in order, man. How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, man. Feeling great. What's going on with you?
Man, I can't complain, man. It's always good chopping it up with you, man. So,
Sir.
Today's topic, man, as you mentioned, bro, this is one of your favorite discussions, as you know what I'm saying, that you brought up. And, I know I sent you over the article and you probably read the title and was like, man, I probably don't even need to read this, man. I do this, you know what I'm saying? But, before we get into the episode, I do want to give them a gist on what this article was about. So if we were to tell you that your memory or your focus, your ability to think clear isn't just controlled by your brain, but it could have a lot to do with your gut. You know what I'm saying? Most people think that your brain performance, your brain performance starts in here, but we rarely think about, the center of the body, which is your, you know what I'm saying, which is your gut. Today, I want to talk about this with my guy Blaqamore and really break down research and really show how gut bacteria might actually be the cause and disrupting those signals that protect your memory, and if that may be true or not, man. So Blaqamore, bro, man, what's your thoughts on, or I guess, at what point did you know, like, okay, my gut has to be connected to my brain?
It was around during that 3-day fast that I took before I went on my, when I lost 60 pounds in 60 days and whatnot. I was learning a lot about gut health at that point, learning how fiber and all of that plays a role, how the different gut bacteria is and the gut brain. And that's when I learned that we technically got 3 brains, because the brain is just a concentration of neurons. So we got the brain in our head, that's 4 billion neurons. We got the brain in our heart, which is over 40,000 neurons. We got the brain in our gut, which is hundreds of millions of neurons. And, the bacteria in the gut is kind of like people on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people who are beneficial to planet Earth because they're environmentalists, and then you got some who aren't so beneficial to planet Earth. Same thing with the bacteria in our gut. Some of the bacteria is beneficial to us, not necessarily on purpose. They just happen to live their life in a way that benefits you. And you got some that happen to not live that way. And that was probably one of the most eye-opening things I learned on my health journey.
Yeah, so I wanted I guess with the gut, is it anything that you, when you were going through your healing journey, did you notice, because remember when you said you pretty much just went cold turkey and began to just eat the correct things, and obviously, like, when you going through a process like that and you're changing your lifestyle from this to this, it's gonna be times you slip up, right? Mm-hmm. So during those times that you slip up, did you notice a difference in your performance because of what you ate compared to the things that you were trying to go, you know what I'm saying, get used to eating?
Yeah. I mean, that still even happens to this day. One of my, I don't know if I'll call it advice because I'll be winning, but, one of the advices I got, I like to gamble on sports here and there.
Yeah.
But I have noticed when I'm not eating the way I should be, my sports betting account reflects my poor decisions. And when I eat the way that's better, things be a little better. I think that's one of the fastest feedback loops that I read. Because, a lot of decisions we make, we don't get that feedback. We're not really paying attention. We're not conscious like that. But,
You're right.
Bet money on a game, you get that feedback back in a couple hours. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's important to throw this in here too, bro, is that we both humans, man. We hop on here and we kick this health shit. But as humans, we all make mistakes, and sometimes it's like the most important thing is bouncing back from it. You know what I'm saying? So recently I have in my, I've been fucking up and shit. So, I'm real heavy into the guns and shit. I train a lot. And I want to say the other day I got up real early to go to the range to put some to put some drills in, and I forgot the main fucking things I needed: my belt and my motherfucking bullets.
God damn it.
And I'm like, man, listen, I can't even blame this on me being tired because I got a decent amount of sleep, but it was
Mm,
something, my decision making just wasn't there. And
yeah.
and mind you, last week my diet has been fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And then at towards the end of the week, I I seen that. You know what I'm saying? That was a result of the bullshit I've been eating. You know what I'm saying, the past week. So now that was an eye opener for me because it's like I I was frustrated with myself because I drove all the way there and
Hmm.
I couldn't train the way I wanted to train because I forgot my belt and my bullets and shit. So I drove all the way there for nothing, got up early just to realize like, damn, I forgot this and I had to hop in my car and come back to the crib because of it. So
Yeah.
I think this is, as you get older, right? We believe that our brain begins to deteriorate or decline because of age, right? Or we experience memory loss because of aging. But there is science that is saying is like they don't believe that that's the full story, right? As we just mentioned, right? There's a communication between the system between your body. They call it the gut brain axis. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So this is a direct line between your gut and your brain. You know what I'm saying? So it runs through something called a
Vegas nervous
vagus
system.
nerve. Yep, you got that shit, a vagus nerve, and it runs through. So the gut is constantly sending information to your brain about the internal state. So so it's kind of like, even though we don't realize it, your brain is listening as well. So I think it's very important for us to, if you are somebody that wants to change your lifestyle, or you are curious about why you make the decisions you make, or why you lack the focus and things of that, maybe even lacking the energy. I think we have to sit here instead of thinking we could just take caffeine to solve these things. We have to start with the gut first, and then once we start with the gut, it affect up here.
Yeah, most definitely. And the vagus nervous system that you highlighted, and we talked about it sending information to your brain.
Mm,
I want y'all to realize that's because the communication goes both ways, but it goes upward 80% of the time. So
hmm.
your gut and your heart got much more influence over you than the brain in your head does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that gut intelligence. I mean, I don't know if we got enough time to kind
So
of because
I
I talk
so
a
the
lot about
vagus, is that like the central nervous system, then, like your spine? Is that what they referring to?
because well, like the central. I ain't no nervous system specialist, but what I just know the vagus nervous system deals with that connection, the gut, heart, and the brain,
Mm,
and like the central nervous system, as I understand it, uh, it how can I explain? Like that's where, so like for example, like even like when you working out, let's say like lifting a weight, your central nervous system has more to do with your strength than your muscle. You know, you can see people
mm,
with bigger muscles, but if so that shows how much belief plays into it. But if their central nervous system isn't as strong, they ain't gonna be able to lift as much. It could be somebody smaller than you who could lift more than you because their central nervous system is more intact. And so just how that's the case with that, uh, if you have a if you have great interoception, which is our eighth sense, I know they teach us we
hmm.
got
Yeah.
five, but
Yeah.
the eighth sense is your interoception.
Mm,
Then that goes with just being in tune, having great gut instincts. You know what I'm saying?
hmm.
If that vagus nervous system is optimized, you know what I'm saying?
And you want to know the weird thing too, bro, is that when you got bad, when that bacteria is bad in the gut, you can kind of feel it, man. You can kind of feel when your gut is just not where it should be. You know what I'm saying? I can't really explain the feeling that I experience, but you can tell the difference between, okay, that felt like it really did something. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you ate some fruit, or maybe some greens, some leaves or something, compared to the sugary foods, the sugary drinks, maybe even what I'm saying, the processed foods. You could tell the difference, right? So Man, bro, like when it comes to your gut, your relationship between your gut and your brain, is this something you spread around the household? I would assume you would, because that's what you went to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, I don't necessarily spread the words, but I'm definitely conscious of it when we go on grocery shopping, and even
Yeah,
what I try to tell them. Because, like,
yeah.
I think, I believe it's the most powerful thing that you could even optimize for outside of sleep.
Hmm.
Like I was saying earlier, when you tap into the intelligence of the gut, we talking about this is the very thing that created you. You know what I'm saying? Like the very first thing that's created of us is our gut inside of our mother's gut. You know what I'm saying? Inside of the
Hmm.
womb. Like this is where it all starts from. And that intelligence is generational. Like the intelligence we have in our brain, that's what we learn once after we're born and we've been alive.
Hmm.
Some of these instincts come from information that's in our DNA that's been passed on generation to generation to
That is a
generation.
fact. That
You
is a
know what I'm
fact.
saying? So when you do what you need to do to enhance that whole system of like the ventromedial prefrontal cortex of the brain, because that's the part that's receiving the information from your gut and giving you the signal on the decision that you should make.
Hmm.
When you enhance that, like your decision, like I'm gonna give you an example. This is one of the most fascinating stories where I really was like, this gut shit is crazy. It was I don't know if he was like a NASCAR driver, but he's one of them race car drivers,
Hmm.
and he's coming around the turn, and he's been doing it for years. So he's coming around the turn, and something told him to slow down. No logical reason why. We ain't seen no stop sign. He's coming around the turn anyway. Something tells him to slow down, and he listens to his good instinct. He
Hmm.
slows down. Had he not slowed down, he would have crashed and died because there was a crash ahead of him. And what happened was his brain, like his eyes subconsciously picked up the reaction of the crowd. When you drive, you're not looking at the crowd because you're looking at the road, but he out his peripheral, he seen the crowd was like looking that way instead of doing what they normally doing, like cheering them on. So he listened to his gut instinct, slowed down. That shit saved his life. Now, if you don't have the experience of racing cars for years, your gut instinct probably wouldn't even have picked that up. And also, if you have poor interoception, that eighth sense, you wouldn't have picked that up either. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's so that's how
That
powerful that shit is.
no,
Life and death.
that shit is powerful. So that shit allowed him, like his gut, by his gut being where it needs to be at, it allowed him to sense
Mm-hmm.
something that saved his life. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
something that a normal like you said, a normal motherfucker wouldn't pick that up. Like sense, like allowed they gut to tell them, like, damn, the crowd is looking at, that's something you got to be a few steps ahead to catch something like
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? And especially like driving them cars, like everything moving so fast. So for him to catch
Fast.
that before it even happened, I feel like that's that's instincts on a whole nother, gut instinct on a whole nother level to be able, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? What's the name of the driver?
I don't know his name, but I read it in the book. The book was about stocks. It was about insider trading. Shit, what's the name of the
I'm gonna have to go check that out.
I got it. I'll send you the title of the book and maybe you put it in the description too. I got to find it. But yeah, I read about that story in the book about because it was teaching you how to use your gut instincts to even pick good stocks and shit. So they told that story, and I was
Hmm.
like, wow. And that's a story I read before I even got on my health journey. That should just
And that's
connected later.
and that's funny because I tell a lot of people, even to this day, man, when your gut telling you something, man, you listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like your gut never steers you wrong, man. It never steers you wrong, man. Like you could question it, but if your gut is telling you like something is off, man, you gotta listen to that shit. And I think all of us have been in a situation where our gut, was telling us something, and some of us might have ignored it, and you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying, and got disappointed or got hurt by something your gut was trying to save you from getting hurt by, whatever that might have been. Um, man, bro. So I wanted to share an experiment that some scientists had did on some mice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was is they took gut bacteria from older mice, right, and transferred the gut bacteria to younger mice, right? So let's think about a young body, a young brain, but with older gut bacteria. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So what happened was is that the younger mice they started to have memory problems, you know what I'm saying, because of the older bacteria. Now they didn't
Yeah.
age, but the memory declined anyway because of
Yeah.
the bacteria that was inside of them. Now, if we was to flip that, where researchers reduced the harmful bacteria inside of the gut, their memory began to improve. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I think that's a lesson for all of us, that memory loss it might not be about age, but it's more so about your internal environment. And yeah, so I think this is a important episode, or something important to listen to, because now this tells you exactly how important it is as far as the things that you consume. Now, as we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, everybody is human. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be perfect. But the most important thing is that when you catch yourself slipping, you bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Because you begin to notice things like low energy, you can't focus, you're very forgetful, all of these things. So when you change your diet, you know what I'm saying, the same things you believe that caffeine can fix, it's probably just the things that you eating and putting inside of your body that could change what you think caffeine is going to change.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, many people still don't understand that serotonin, which is like when people are clinically depressed
Mhm.
and they go to the psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever it is, to give them their medicine so they could not be depressed anymore. They give them basically a synthetic form of serotonin because they be serotonin deficient.
Mm.
Serotonin, 90% of your serotonin is developed where? In the gut, not in your brain, in the gut. So
And that's
imagine
where the diseases they form in the gut first.
in the gut.
Yeah.
So y'all thinking, oh, just want to eat, have fun. All right. Y'all, that's what y'all
Yeah.
say. And I want to say something, so I'm gonna say something else, how powerful this shit is. There was a woman, this woman, she's been, she's never been overweight, none of that, her whole life, 30 some years old.
Yeah.
She has some type of, but she did have some type of infection that required her to get a fecal transplant. And with the fecal transplant, there's basically a gut bacteria transplant as well. So she got her fecal transplant from somebody else, another woman who was obese. So when she got the fecal transplant in her, over the next few years, she became obese despite her not really changing her diet or exercise like that
Because of the
because
trans.
of because that basically was a brain transplant, a gut brain transplant. She had basically got like a gut brain that instructed her body to become obese. So if you think what you're putting
Shit.
in your mouth ain't making no difference, and you wonder why you ain't even got control over something, remember this is the same intelligence that beats your heart that brought you into this world.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you need to do to take as much care of that as possible.
And I believe that, bro. I believe that um your body is capable, and we done talked about it before, man. Your body is
Mhm.
capable of healing itself from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way, the same way you can scrape a leg, or you get a cut, and maybe in a few days or so that cut is healed up. Your body has healed a wound for you. The same shit is happening inside your body. The only difference is the same way you got to take care of that or wrap it up to make sure it's not getting affected, or dirt ain't interfering with the healing process. It's the same thing. Like, in order for your body to heal from the inside out, you have to give it the things that it needs in order to run,
Yeah,
right? It ain't no difference from, like, shit. If you ain't putting no engine oil in your car, how long you think your car gonna run? The
yeah,
engine
yeah.
gonna go out. It's over
Hmm.
with. You know what I'm saying? So the same way you maintenance your car for the functionality of it, for it to function correctly. It's the same thing with the body, man. You gotta eat what the body deserves, what the body needs, in order for your body to heal itself. And that is really that simple, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really feel like it. The only thing I'm gonna quote Yaki Awaken on this, man. He says, I think I told you about this once before, and he said, "You're not addicted to the food that you eat. You just haven't chose to live yet."
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit hit, because it's like, it's not hard, but like with us, we're so addicted to, man, that shit is seasoned. The seasoning and how it tastes. but it ain't doing no justice for your body, man. It ain't doing no justice for your well being. You can't even
Yeah.
remember where you put your car keys at.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because of what you just ate the previous day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, man, this right here, I wanted this to be a powerful episode for the audience, man, as far as like teaching them, or I wouldn't even say teach, but sharing the information as far as how your gut is damn near like the brain, the real brain that
Mhm.
communicates with this brain. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So, man, Blaqamore, bro, is it anything you want to add on this subject alone, brother?
But I mean, I'm gonna try to limit to just one closing out thing. One of the most powerful things you can, because I mentioned earlier how you want to make sure you enhance that system as far as like the information traveling from the gut to the brain and all of that, and making better decisions, and how when you're in tune with your gut instincts, you can make better decisions to blink of an eye, even though if you don't make sense of it logically. One of the most powerful things you could do to enhance that whole system is
Mm,
to face your fears.
facts.
You strategically face your fears, that because it exercises, because like you can't do nothing to specifically get that part of the brain better, but all of the neural networks and that whole pathways that it travels through, when
Mm,
you keep exposing your brain, when you keep exposing yourself to those situations, and then you realize, oh, it ain't what I thought it was, and now you even know how to navigate in that.
yeah.
It takes your gut instincts to a whole nother level. And I mean, coming to that point, when your gut instincts is on point, memory, that's, I mean, that goes without saying. We talking about predicting the future, let alone remembering the past. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's one of the most powerful things you can do is face your fears.
Man, I think what I want to throw in, man, is that so I started going to a chiropractor. Well, we in 2026, maybe like the beginning of 2022, and I built a solid relationship with these guys, man. It's a team of them, and they have a nutritionist, right? And I realized the hard like, and I realized it's some of us that want to eat better. We just don't know when to start. Just like the last conversation we had about the working out. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to go to the gym, but you don't know where to start when you go into that gym. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say this, y'all, is that I became a member at the chiropractor office out here in Rockford, Illinois. And those guys were very, very patient as far as teaching me about my body, teaching me the difference between the CNS and the PNS, or your central nervous system and your peripheral nervous system. And they had a nutritionist that was pretty much there whenever you needed to talk as far as your diet. And I forgot the name of the test that they have you take, but the test pretty much allows them to get a dive into your diet, and from there she will suggest what you should be eating and how many portions you should eat per day. So I would recommend finding you a chiropractor office. Now I know all of them I probably don't operate the same, but if you find one the way that I, the one that I go to, so they have a nutritionist on site. Every book that come in the office obviously is on health, and it's free of charge. You know what I'm saying? If you coming to them monthly, and let's say you paying them $75 a month to come and get adjusted a couple times a month, you can get these books for free. You know what I'm saying? So take advantage of that. Take advantage of the nutritionist if they have one. And another thing is the difference between the central nervous system and your peripheral nervous system is that your central nervous system is like your spine. You know what I'm saying? So when your chiropractor adjusts you, essentially they're aligning your spine. They're straightening it out, right? So they have something called spluxation, where your spine is bent, is not straight the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So their job is to straighten out your spine so that your central nervous system can communicate with your peripheral nervous system, which is the organs in the body, and also that will allow the body to function the way it's supposed to function as well. So,
Mm.
yeah, definitely take advantage of that, right? So I really brought that up as far as the nutritionist, right? Because that could be a valuable resource, but then also you getting the adjustment at the same time. So, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that, man. If that ain't a gym between both people, I don't know what is, man.
Yeah. This was a life changing episode for somebody out there.
Man, they got a man. So I would say this, y'all, before we close out, is that the brain doesn't operate in, you know what I'm saying, in isolation, right? So your performance, your clarity, your memory is all connected to one system, you know what I'm saying? So if your gut is out of line, your mind is out of line too, you know what I'm saying? So instead of asking like uh how do I think better? You know what I'm saying? You probably should be asking, okay, how do I live better? Because better biology creates better decisions, and better decisions, man, creates a better life, man. And yeah, we're gonna end with that, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Man, so without that being said, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get notified when new episodes is available. Make sure you follow me on IG, follow my guy Blaqamore on IG. Both our information will be in the description. And just stay in tune, y'all. As long as we see support, that's what help us keep going and stay consistent and keep giving y'all valuable information, man. So without that being said, y'all, life is good, life is wonderful. Be blessed to be alive. Self-sufficiency is how you survive. To the kings and queens, to the guys and goddess forever and always, think successfully. It's sex.